Hello, everyone. This is another one of our podcasts brought to you by Tesera de Hospitalidad, the consultancy you can trust in. This is the second of a four-part podcast. We're going to focus on the review of the central purchasing bodies and their idiosyncrasies. The first thing I want to get across is the origin of the central purchasing trend. Let's get straight to it. On Friday, April the 27th, the Council of Ministers approved the referral to the European Commission of the Spain 2012 National Reform Program and the 2012-2015 Spain Stability Program update. Both documents reflected the strategy of the government's economic policy for the coming years, including structural reforms which may affect the contractual activity of the public sector. Here are the main points. 1. Adjustment spending measures that would affect spending on goods and services. Establishment of centralized purchasing platforms. Renegotiation of contracts for supplies and services. Electronic procurement. Every order must include funding. 2. Adjustments in the price of the hospital pharmacy. 3. Centralization of medical equipment, maintenance services, especially in high-tech equipment. We're going to go over the first points I mentioned, the establishments of centralized purchasing platforms. In the last part of this presentation, I will review the other points. Let's now look at the two different stages we have in this subject. 1. The central purchasing body of the health ministry to buy medicines and medical devices. 2. The central purchasing bodies of the autonomous communities. 1. Starting with the central purchasing body of the health ministry to buy medicines and medical devices. It was created in 2011 by the Consolidated Law on Public Sector Contracts. 2. Moving on now to the central purchasing bodies of the autonomous communities. Every territory has its own regulation. We can mention the main legislation in health sector. Let me give you some examples. Law 4/2012 of the 4th of July modifying the budget law of the Autonomous Community of Madrid for 2012 and stipulating urgent measures to rationalize expenditures and to stimulate further economic activity. Among these measures found in Title IV are the creation of the Central Purchasing Office of the Madrid Health System. Law 6/2012 of the 17th of June. This law sets the rules for the internal operation of the central purchasing body of the Balearic Health Services. Order of the 20th of November 2012 of the Health Council of the Government of the Canary Islands. This order sets the rules for the internal operation of the central purchasing body of the Canary Islands health system. It has an addendum in which we can find the goods and the services that have to be bought by this central body. 1. The goods. Gauze, sanitary napkins, and products of incontinence. Needles and syringes. Disposable clothing. Dishes and fluids. Dry and wet chemistry. Medical gases. Fuel. Linens and uniforms. Serum. Pharmaceutical products. Gloves. Prostheses and implants. Catheters. Probes. Drainage. Containers. Dialysis membranes. Material for first aid, sutures and wound dressings. Reagents and consumables for laboratory tests. 2. Services. Electrical power. Security devices. Cleaning services. Health and non-health waste management. Clinical analysis and samples. Laundry. Health logistics. Order SAN/19/2012 of the 13th of January creating the Central Commission of Purchasing and Administrative Contracts of Castilla-León. This order sets the rules for the internal operation of the central purchasing body. They are making their own catalog with a tool called Saturno, or Andalusia, who is working with a complete catalog called Siglo. Okay, that's all, folks. Looking forward to bringing you part 3 of another podcast.